Taesu celebrates being alive, as he was close to dying. He laughs like crazy as he begins to absorb the monster. At one point, the boy remembers a scene from his childhood, specifically when he was talking to his brother. On that occasion, he asks if he really has to do it. His brother replies that the stronger he becomes, the more the guild will grow, and that it's all for their father's sake. However, the boy tries to refuse, but it's useless, as his older brother orders him to do it. Then, the brother uses an ability that creates a leash around the boy, forcing him to obey. Little Taesu starts coughing while repeating that he doesn't want to do it, begging to be left alone, pleading not to have to go on. At that moment, it is revealed that the boy activated his abilities, generating diamond stakes that seemed to be aimed at eliminating some people who were trapped. Back in the present, the young man curses that memory. On the other hand, the Russian woman mentions that even Lucas helped and comments that she can't believe they managed to get rid. She praises him, saying it's impressive, just as Taesu appears. She reminds him that, as she promised, she will give him half of the mana stone from the Arctic beast. However, Taesu responds that he consumed it entirely, leaving the woman doubtful about what he said. Taesu repeats that he fully absorbed the mana stone. This leaves the Russian woman incredulous, as she states that his body shouldn't be able to withstand. It is then that he launches an attack, but before reaching her, she uses her ability and asks him why. Why did he do such a thing? The boy responds that there is someone he desperately wants. Suddenly, a copy of Taesu appears behind her as if it were a ghost, passing through the chair and asking her if she too could die. However, the woman moves a finger, causing Taesu's copy to explode. At that moment, Vladimir Luzana comments that with that mana stone, they could have strengthened Russia's hunters up to tenfold, but Taesu wasted it for an absurd reason. Then, the woman removes the hat she was wearing and as if he doesn't want to fight for Russia, revealing a large wound on her head. Before he can respond, multiple copies of Taesu launch into the attack. However, it doesn't work, as with a simple gesture, the woman makes all the copies explode, splashing Taesu's companion with red liquid. This is how Luzana understands his answer, while the young man uses an ability on his companion, then throws her away from the Russian woman. Immediately afterward, the woman moves a finger and declares that he will now be that simple gesture causes stones to move toward the young man's companion. However, before they reach her, Taesu uses his copies to create a barrier and protect her. Then, he begins to lose control while activating all the abilities he had stolen and attacking Luzana from every angle with different powers, using his copies. Nevertheless, before all those attacks reach her, the woman snaps her fingers. That simple gesture was enough for all the cones and the powers that were about to be launched to explode. The attack was so devastating that it looked like fireworks, when in reality, it was Taesu's clones exploding. However, the main body was still in front of her, but not for long, as shortly after, the woman created a mini black hole in the sky, starting to absorb everything, including the young. Before being absorbed by the hole, he remembered a moment from his childhood when he confessed to Yeju that he had eliminated someone that day. He added that no one should take another person's life, and his friend called out to him just as he went down the slide. As he slid down, the boy screamed that he didn't want to kill anyone, repeating it as he slid faster and faster. Back in the present, he screamed that he didn't want to be eliminated. However, it was revealed that there were multiple versions of Taesu, all screaming the same thing, that they didn't want to die as they were absorbed by the black. Finally, it was shown that the original Taesu had created millions of clones to be absorbed, forming a slide with them. This allowed him to fall in the direction of the Russian woman while shouting that he was going to eliminate her. On the other hand, after Lucas disappears, Kang Ji-hyung lowers his head and begins to cry, revealing that he seems to be sad about what happened. However, something doesn't quite fit as he smiles and wonders what nonsense he was saying. He reflects on what could be so terrible and so cruel. Finally, he concludes that his body has returned to normal, so everything is resolved. He adds that now he can go see his mother, that now he can be happy with her. Too bad someone crushes him before he can do anything. The man who crushes him observes something with doubt and asks what that thing he just. Before the battle between Taesu and Rusana in the Russian president's office, some years in the past, the president comments on a monster that remained unharmed even after a nuclear attack, mentioning it was like witnessing the beginning of this end of the world. He is on the ground, surrendered to the hands of fate. It is then that someone calls out. It is a younger version of Vladimira Rusana, the former Russian Minister of Defense, who informs that if they have enough mana, they can eliminate the monster. She adds that they only need to gather awakened individuals. However, the president responds that it is already too late and reveals he has launched the remaining missiles to various parts of the world. Screaming, he declares that now they will all die together. At that moment, a rain of missiles appears above them, heading toward various locations. The woman, seeing this, begins to fly toward the missiles, reaching space. There, she uses her power to catch them, gathering them all into a giant hand of energy. However, the missiles explode, generating a shockwave that reaches Earth, right where the Russian president is. After that, Rusana returns to the president's office. Slightly injured, she observes the deplorable state of the president, who, in a desperate gesture, begs for help, something the woman seems inclined to do, as, trembling, she apologizes to the president. However, she then corrects herself and apologizes to her father, activating her power and causing him to explode. After that, a message arrives at the president's office, informing them that Russia's indiscriminate missile launches have been confirmed. Because of this, the United States announces they will eliminate Russia immediately for the sake of world peace. This surprises the woman, who screams for them not to do it. She informs them that she is the Russian Minister of Defense and announces that the president is dead and that but the man, who appears to be the president of the United States, tells them to go to hell. The already critical situation worsens as the Russian woman's children arrive at the location where she is. She immediately tells them she had warned them not to come because they could be dangerous. Despite this, the little ones run to hug her, leaving her stunned. After that emotional moment, she calls her children by their names, Medev and Alyssa, kneeling. She tells them she will definitely protect them. Then, she embraces them as a sign of comfort. Back in the present, she reflects on the promise she made to her son and daughter. She asks Taesu if he really believes that he can lose to someone like him. She activates in her power, but nothing happens. This is because she was eliminated by Taesu even before the entire previous battle took place. It is revealed that he was leaving the area while absorbing the woman's powers. Elsewhere, in the district of awakened Russian residents, Rusana's children asked if they would be safe from American hunters. A lady confirmed they would and added that they would win and return soon. This encouraged the children, who said they were also awakened and assured they could fight. The woman tells Medev and Alyssa that everything will be fine, that the queen will protect them. Or at least, that was what she was about to say, as at that moment, she explodes before the girls. It is revealed that the entire residential area was destroyed. In front of the girl was Taesu. The little one displayed the look of terror at the imposing figure of the young man, who showed a trace of emotion. As Taesu walks away, the girl remains in shock, watching him as he fades into the distance. Before leaving completely, Taesu recalls the face of Kang Ji-hyung, stops, and after a brief pause, shakes his head. He activates his power, and the girl explodes. On the other hand, the man who landed on Kang Ji-hyung shows confusion and asks what is happening. Meanwhile, the boy begins to regenerate. It is then that the man kicks him, throwing him off the building. The young man tries to crawl, desperately calling out to his mother, but is crushed again. Despite everything, he continues regenerating and crawling on the ground, repeating the call for his mother. However, the man crushes his head once more, laughing and commenting that he finds it amusing. This cycle repeats several times. The man notices something peculiar about the young man and mentions that he has a strange rhythm, like the sound of a cicada. Then, mocking, he asks why an adult. Enraged upon hearing those words, Kang Ji-hyung yells at the man, questioning him if he also has a mother, and curses him amidst. The man, ignoring the young man's words, kicks him forcefully, pulling him toward the red portal. This takes him back to the place he once fought to escape from.
And with that, we've reached the end of this week's chapter. If you made it all the way to the end, I'd love to hear your thoughts on this chapter in the comments. Don't forget to like and subscribe so our community can keep growing and we can reach more fans like you. See you in the next video. In the meantime, if you're from the near future, I'll leave you the next chapter and a comic you're sure to enjoy. Thank you for being part of this adventure.